Hi guys, and welcome to my intro to Path of Exile. If you guys haven't heard of this game before, it's an online, it's free to play online action RPG. It's currently in development. It's in beta stage at the moment, so if you're lucky enough to have a beta invite, you could have been playing it. Otherwise, this weekend they've actually opened it up to free for all for just the weekend, just to load test their servers. Now, just wanted to have a quick run through of the basic, options and logging in, and a quick run through of the game, a little bit of the mechanics, etc. And in a follow-up video, I'll run through a couple of the first missions and, a bit more of a playthrough in the game. I've only been able to access this on the free weekend beta access, so I'm probably only going to be able to get a couple of videos up today. And hopefully I do get a beta invite. Now, you can actually purchase a microtransaction pack, and it will give you an invite to the beta access. It'll give you an early invite. They do also have on the website a lottery system where you will, beta access is given out to one user every, I don't know, there's a couple a day that gets sent out. Yeah, so it's currently in development. Hopefully it's not going to be too far away from being launched. As I said, it's a free-to-play game, so it doesn't cost you to download it. It doesn't cost you to log in and play it. And yeah, it's an action RPG, very much like Diablo, which we'll see that in a sec when I start playing. So this is the login screen. Yes, that's my email address. It's not showing you the password, which is great. It's got also here 3 gateways, so there's America, Europe and Singapore. Now, I'm in Australia, so I'm going to choose Singapore as my gateway. Let's have a quick... I'll log in first and then we'll have a look at the options when I'm in the game. Okay, so I'm logging in. I have had a couple of quick goes at some of these characters already. I'm not going to gloss over this too much, but we'll just go through the creation screen just so you can have a look at the characters and how the character creation screen works. Now, if you have a look at this screen, you're in the hold of a ship. By the looks of this, you can see the dude sleep here, and he looks like he's had a little bit too much to drink. And they seem to be chained up, so they look like they're prisoners. Let's have a look at these characters here. What do we got? First one is a Templar. Now, there's story behind all of these. You guys can pause it if you want to read that. I'm not going to stay here for too long, but each one's got the different story, and obviously they're different classes, so they're going to have different styles of game. So the first one's a Templar. If you've played any action RPGs before, you know what a Templar is. He's a fighter with some magic. We've got a Shadow character. Now, he looks like a stealth character. He's carrying a dagger. Probably has some backstab skills and things like that. Very quick, very agile. Next one here is a Marauder. He's a warrior, obviously. Very meaty. Looks like he can take a lot of damage. Probably deal a lot of damage too with that big hammer that he's wielding there. The next one here is a Ranger. Very obvious, a ranged character carrying the bow and arrow. Again, very agile looking. And our first female character as well. Pretty cool. The next one is a Duelist. Again, looks like another melee character. Probably a little bit more finesse than the Marauder, but not so much as the Shadow. Yeah, again, backstory there. And the last one is a Witch, another female character. Oh look, magic character. Excellent. So, my run through here, I'm going to use... let me see, I'm going to use the Marauder. I have started one of these characters already, but just going to have a bit of a bash through. And let's call this guy the Incredible Hulk, because you can believe everything that he says. Right, so characters created. If you guys want to check out the website for this, it's just www.pathofexile.com. I will put a link below. Yeah, check it out. Download the game client and sign up for beta access. Even pre-purchase if you like. So, first up, we're washed up on a beach. So I've clicked to stand up. I'm going to left click on that, pick up my weapon. And before I click on this guy, you can see he's got a little exclamation mark there. That means he's got a quest item for me. I'm going to run through the options option screen because you'll see what happens when I start on there. So very quickly, graphics options. I'm playing this in windowed mode. If I wasn't recording, I would more than likely be playing this on full screen. Yeah, just how you play your games. It is personal preference. I could be playing this windowed full screen, but I don't want the videos to be too big anyway, so I've just recorded it at well, Windows at 1280 by 720, but that's obviously a little bit less. You've got VSync. I'm going to turn that off. If you're getting really bad screen tearing, I would recommend turning that option on. Actually, I'm not going to turn that on because it will crash my recording. That's okay. But yeah, turn that off if you want better FPS. If you're getting bad screen tearing, we'll turn that on. Shadow types. Now you can see the shadows here is quite nice and smooth. This is the variant shadow mapping. If I change it to basic, the shadows turn into very blocky sort of shadows, and I may actually just at the end, or I may even just cut in a shadow, basic shadow map here, because if I change that option, it's going to crash on me again. I'll leave it on variants. Anti-aliasing I've left off again just for FPS reasons for recording this video. If you've got a really good video card, then crank that up. It will look a bit better. Having said that, though, you can see in the video this, it looks pretty good as it is. Being an action RPG, you are, a fair way back from your character. You can zoom in with the mouse wheel, and anti-aliasing may make that look a little bit better, but at this level, it's probably not going to make that much difference. Same with your texture filtering. You've got up to 16 times anisotropic filtering. Again, I've left it the lowest one just for recording purposes, and yeah, post-processing is off. I'm not quite sure what this does. It's not actually giving me a tooltip on these ones. Same with screen shake. You can see there's been some thunder and lightning. I've left that on just for a bit of effect. It's pretty cool. Sound, I've turned this right down again just for recording purposes. I don't want the sound to be overpowering the voice. I've got a really funny setup with the microphone here. I've just spent the last hour or so trying to get a decent setup with the mic, but yeah, I should get a video of my setup here. It looks quite funny. Anyway, the UI, pretty basic settings here again. Show corner map, obviously in the corner there, that's the map. Auto center the map. You can press the tab key, will bring up the map full screen, and you can move the map around with your arrow keys. Okay. The auto center map, if that's ticked, if you've moved off the screen with your cursors, when you press the map button again, it will auto center it rather than closing it. But I mean, if you close it and open it again, it's going to auto center it again anyway. Map transparency, that's fairly obvious what that does. Always highlight, will highlight items on the ground. And you see that dying exile there? If I press the Alt key, that highlights items on the ground or clickable items. Whoops, where are the options? Okay, you can have that on and they will always be highlighted. I prefer not to have that just because it takes a bit away from the immersion of the game. If you have that on as well, you can filter white items. So white items, similar to Diablo 3, are the lowest quality items. You'll get magic items and rare items and so on and so forth. White ones are, the lowest quality in the game. Key pickup, again, that means you can only pick up items when you're pressing that pickup or the highlight key, which is the Alt key. This would be useful if you're in a battle and there's lots of loot on the ground and you don't want to be clicking on an item to accidentally pick it up. You'd rather stay back and be attacking the mobs from a distance. That would be useful to have that one on, but I've left it off for now just to see how it goes. Full descriptions, we'll show you that in a minute. When I get some loot, I'll show you how that actually pops up, but it'll give you the full description of the item on the ground before you pick it up, so you don't have to pick it up, go into your inventory and see what the item is. Show life mana levels, that just gives numbers above the life bar, which is hidden behind the options at the moment, and the mana bar. Personal preference, whether you want that on or off. I'm going to leave it off. Just for reference, you can see how much you've got from the blue or the red. Corpse targeting allows you to shoot corpses. We'll see what that does. Hide global chat. I've turned that off just because there's randoms chatting in global chat at the moment. And mouse wheel zoom, so you can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel if you feel inclined to do so. Keys, again, you can check this out as you go along. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your belt over here, which has flasks. Now this is your health and your mana flasks. I'll explain this in a second when I start using them, get into some fights. You've got bound skills, which are 5 keys as well. So Q, W, E, R, T. These are the ones over here. And we'll get into that when I actually get some skills. We'll see that in a moment. Attack and play is fairly standard for an action RPG. You can press shift and click and you will attack. Good for ranged attacks, so you can stand back and fire your bow and arrow or cast your magic or whatnot. Weapon swap. If I just bring up my inventory here, if I press the X key, you can see it swaps to number 2. And you can click on it here in the inventory as well. So you can carry 2 loadouts. You may want to carry a melee loadout and also a ranged, so like a bow and arrow, just as an alternative. So that's the X key. Detonate mines. I'm yet to find mines, but that's probably one of the skills one of the characters has. I guess you can lay some mines, run away, detonate them when the baddies run over it. Highlight items and objects. I showed you that already. Pressing the Alt key, you can see things on the ground. Toggle highlights. If I press the Z key, that turns it on and off. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Noble corpse targeting A. Chat, press enter. I'm not going to bother with that because we're not multiplayer. Open and close the map with tab. Just showed you that. And then you've got all your panels. So you've got your options panel, which is this one. Character panel with C. Social with S. Contacts page. Ladder panel inventory, which I already brought that up for you guys. The world panel, this is where you'll find your quests as well. I actually had some trouble with that before, trying to find where my quests were, but it's actually on the map. Sorry, not the map, the world panel, which is the big overview of the world. Your microtransaction stash, which I said earlier in the video here, if you purchase, pre-purchase a microtransaction pack, will give you beta access. And you can purchase things using microtransactions. So as I said, this is free to play. Any of the items that you get in the game are free. However, you can purchase some through microtransactions. So close all panels with space, take a screenshot, and zoom the camera in and out. And I tend to use a mouse wheel to zoom in and out. And that's it for the settings. Fairly basic. So let's kick on. I'm going to click on this Dying Exile here and see what's up. Alright, so we've been knocked off the ship. It's washed up. Yep, cool. He's dying. Oh no, zombie! Alrighty, first battle. And little tooltips come up. So the first few missions it's going to give you, or first few moments in the game, it's going to give you some quick tutorials. Hold the Alt key to show items on the ground. Yes, we know. And the first interesting item that we've picked up is a little crystal. Path of Exile is a little bit different with its character progression and skill progression in that any of your skills that you get are not learnt through leveling up. They're actually learnt through drops. So this item here, Heavy Strike level 1, attacks the enemy with a forceful blow. Now, to use it, you need to equip it into an item that has the same colour socket. Now, if I just mouse over my weapon here, my Driftwood Club, you can see it's got a red, a green, and a blue socket. So I can put this red crystal in the red socket, and having done that, the Heavy Strike skill has automatically assigned itself to the right mouse button. That's another very nice feature that the guys have built into this game, that when you unlock a skill or when you pick up some armor or even a weapon or shield or ring or whatnot, if that slot is free, it will automatically assign it to that slot by default. And then later on, once you pick up later items, you have to reassign it yourself manually. So this one's quite cool. And you see it's also got a level 1, and it will earn experience once it's equipped to a weapon. You'll earn experience with that, and you can level up your skills or your crystals. Alrighty, so let's carry on here, see if we can find some mobs to kill. Fairly standard action RPG fare. You've got, dudes to kill. I'm getting hit, so I need to heal up, which is the next cool feature of this game, which we saw earlier, in my belt here I've got healing flasks and a mana flask. Now if I use one of those, it's going to heal me up. However, it hasn't used and dropped the flask, which is quite cool. Now if you have a look at killing monsters or enemies, it's recharging the flask. Now if I just show you the tooltip on this, life recovery of 60, recovery time 6 seconds, so you get 60 health over 6 seconds, charges 16 of 21, each drink uses 7 charges. So you just press your number keys, or you can right click on them to use them, and see the very last bit there, refills as you kill monsters. So I'm just going to use 1 and 2, and you see I've used more of the first one, a little bit of the second one. I'm going to go off and kill some more things and watch what happens to the flasks. You can see they're recharging there, which is very nice. So there's no health files that drop from monsters, you know, that you need to go and collect to heal your character. That you've automatically got them. There are larger ones that you can find. See, this is a small life flask, and you see there, because the slot was open, it's automatically put it in my belt. Yeah, so there are larger ones that you can find that will hold more charges, but yeah, it's not like you have to go and collect, you know, 50 health files because I'm going into a bigger area. It's just you've automatically got them, and they automatically recharge when you kill monsters, which is very nice. I think it's a unique way of doing it. It may have been done before. I've not seen it in a game before. Feel free to comment below if you have seen it before in a game. Steer me wrong, you know. I'm quite happy to do that. I'm just going to show you guys how this works as well with picking up items that are not. So this plate vest, I don't have a chest piece. Click on it to pick it up because I've got it open, of course. And it's automatically put it on my chest. You can see there on my character. I'll just show you in the inventory as well. It's automatically put it on. Now, with my dual loadouts, you can see there, I can just press the X button, and it switches between ranged and melee. And you'll also notice here that the active skills change, because that heavy strike is a melee skill. You can't do a heavy strike with a bow and arrow. I suppose you could in real life, but it wouldn't be as effective as hitting something with a club. I digress. Let's carry on. Probably not the best thing to be doing with the melee class character. I just wanted to show you guys how the bow and arrows worked. Fairly standard fare for an action RPG. One thing I quite liked is, if you watch the baddie here, you can see he's got arrows sticking out of him as I'm shooting. So there, got one sticking out of his back. Oh, right in the forehead. And he's dead. And it stays there when they're dead as well. So that's quite a cool thing. You don't have to pick up you don't have to pick up arrows. It's they're just unlimited, you know, unlimited ammo. Unlike something as in depth as Oblivion, it is an action RPG, so they haven't gone to that depth. Excellent, I've leveled up. This is the next thing I wanted to show you guys. A friend of mine told me about this game, and it's quite funny. He's going to be very annoyed at me because he's just gone away on holidays for a month. He signed up for this as well, but he's hoping to get beta access before he comes back. But he's probably going to be annoyed because about 3 days after he's left, an email came out saying that they've opened up the free beta weekend for everybody. So I doubt that he'll be away on holidays playing, during his holiday, which is fair enough. But lucky me, who's not on holidays, gets to work. I just happen to get access to the beta for the weekend. Alright, I just want to kill off these mobs just so I'm running through the level ups. I'm not going to get attacked in the background. You'll see there my heavy strike gem has leveled up as well. So I'll just bring that back up in the inventory. I'll just point to it there. You can see it's level 1. Experience is 70 of 70, so I can level it up. It's going to improve, improve the quality. Make the damage more and things like that. There's a whole lot of different skills that you can get in the game as well, so they have to be equipped for them to level up. I'm just going to click on that. It's as simple as clicking on the little plus there to level it up, and we'll have a look again. The attacks have increased and things like that. Again, it's level 2 and I've experienced 1 of 308. Now the next bit I wanted to show you, as I was saying there, a friend of mine told me about the game. He explained it as the skills that you learn in your game when you level up, that there's lots of passive skills, so you don't actually learn spells and you don't learn skills, so that's what the gems are for. But he said that yes, there was a lot of the passive skills when you level up, which will make it the longevity of the game will be very high, just because of the amount of loadouts that you could create with each character. Now, I was quite surprised when I first leveled up to see the number of skills that these guys have included in this game. It is quite impressive. So I'm going to run through that quickly now. I've got a skill point here to assign. Let's click on that. Okay, so let's have a look here. What do we got? Skills, I've got 1 point left, no respec points left. Respec, basically if you've already assigned a big tree, you could use a respec point and you could go back to the start and respec the tree out. Let's have a quick look at this character in the middle here. Being the melee character, he's got more strength than he does intelligence and dexterity. Very basic here in terms of the RPG element, and I can't assign when I level up if I want to increase my strength, intelligence or dexterity. It just looks like that they're a set sort of proportions to each other for each class, and they will level up as you level up. You don't have to assign them yourself. How these skill trees work, however, is quite cool. This is my starting point, and at the moment I've only got access to 2 options here. I can either increase my life, so 15% increase to maximum life, or I can increase my maximum damage. Now, I'm not struggling too much with dying. I've got lots of health flasks here, so I'm actually going to increase my melee damage. That's probably going to help me a little bit more straight away. And you see that I've used up the skill, and it's highlighted there. So the next time I level up, because I've accessed this one, it will let me choose from one of these 2 in the skill tree now. And basically this is your progression, how you go through with your character. Now, as I was saying about these passive skills, they have included a lot in the game. So I'm just going to zoom out. You see there's a little zoom wheel here. I'm going to zoom out to give you guys an idea on how many there are in this game. And this is absolutely insane. The size of this damn skill tree. I mean, I'm over here. I've unlocked 1. I'm not even going to attempt to count how many are here. I would hate to think how many skill points I'm going to need to unlock, even half of this. This is impressive. As you saw from the character selection screen, there's 6 characters, so you can imagine there are 6 characters with skill trees like this. This is pretty cool. Anyway, I digress again. I'm interested to see what these are when you get to it. It looks like the same sort of thing here as the strength, dexterity and intelligence. I guess when I get to here it'll unlock bonuses for those. I'm not sure. It's not telling me with a tooltip. We'll see. If I get a chance to in this beta weekend, and I get down to one of these, we'll have a look at what that is. But for the moment, I'm actually going to leave it there for this video. That should be enough for now. Hope you liked the intro. This is my first ever game recording. First ever time playing this game as well tonight. So please leave me comments below. I will take take constructive criticism on board. Negative criticism, I'll take that on board as well, but I probably won't take as much notice as constructive criticism. But yeah, please leave me some comments and stay tuned for more videos.